distinguished fellow panelists, Nidhi Verma, ladies and gentlemen. The Indian economy is growing fast. We all expect that this will last. Even if tariffs stay high, our economy will still fly. No matter what some may say, we will pursue our own way. Our economy will forge ahead. It is by no means dead. For the plastics industry, this bodes well. This economic growth can propel the industry to newer heights. Double-digit growth is within your sights. In many industries, you play a role, so rapid growth is an achievable goal. In packaging, plastics play a major role. Preservation and safety are the goal. Whether in food or in healthcare, plastics are always there. Shelf lives of food are extended. From illnesses, we are defended. Medical products are kept sterile, preserved for a considerable while. Whether it is for skin or hair, they are ubiquitous in personal care. Not only are they packaged well, they also help the product sell. The contacts are kept intact. The packaging can help attract consumers to see and buy. Good packaging makes products fly. The opportunity is clearly there, but the industry needs to take care. Sustainability is a real threat. All industries are beset. Carbon emissions are too high. For major reductions, we all must try. But we will also have to make haste in reducing plastic waste. Most of the plastics in the trade, regrettably, don't biodegrade. For components that last very long, this isn't all that bad or wrong. But when you use and then dispose, the problem then rapidly grows.
That grand hyatt, I felt that was grand at the time. It has definitely become a lot more grand at this time, and one can feel the spirit right up here. When, as an economist, I stand up on the first session of this particular conference, and in general, as an economist, as a business leader today, we feel threatened by a lot of factors, by technology, by artificial intelligence, by tariff, by climate change. Today, I feel humbled once more that an economist standing here learns one more to be humble from a new source, that is poetry. That I never expected that this particular, the entire gamut of global economics, Indian economy, and the challenges, climate change related challenges, how beautifully, Mr. Godrej, you summarized, and that's really the befitting start of this grand conference, I would say. Jumping straight into the topics I wanted to discuss, obviously, there are a few points I had jotted down to speak here about how exactly I see the global challenges folding, how exactly the climate-related challenges are unfolding, and how exactly economies are doing a lot better, a lot worse. There is no clear one pattern. There's a lot of diversity amongst performance of organization. But after covering those points relatively quickly, I would actually like to spend a bit of my time on the current trends and key issues faced by the Indian economy. I'm sure a lot of people here are related to this particular market. And
it's great to be back here in Mumbai and to be back at the Global Summit on Films and Flexibles. It's my second time here. I hope that I one day will end up on the slide here as participant for 5 years or longer. Mr. Godrej, I want also to express my appreciation to you because your poems are always an incredible highlight when listening to you, very inspirational. And I want to thank you not only, of course, for what you are doing as a business leader, but also the leadership that you individually and your company is taking on sustainability. I will be speaking today on a topic that I'm sure is quite of relevance and most certainly interesting to many of you, and that relates to the recent negotiations on a global treaty on plastic pollution. I'm sure that many of you have been following that in the media, but let me try to give you maybe some additional insights as to what happened at the most recent negotiations that took place in Geneva and concluded just a few weeks ago, and some of the challenges that the negotiation process is faced with. I will also use the time today to talk a little bit about the work that we are doing, the Alliance to End Plastic Waste. We are a global non-profit organization, fully funded and sponsored by the private sector, which I'm very happy to see that a good number of our members are present in the room here, both companies of Indian origin, but also companies, global companies with a strong presence here in India. But let me start with the negotiations, the treaty negotiations on an internationally legally binding instrument on plastic.
I've been given a topic which is completely different, and I reckon that many of you are running family managed businesses. So how does one handle succession in a family business is something I'm going to speak on. My personal experience in succession has been different. It's been from a professionally managed company. I started working in a family managed company, but over a period of time, made it turn professional and stepped down and handed over the reins to a professional manager. But I'm wondering whether to this audience, would that story make a sense, or should I be talking more about unlisted family managed companies? And let me start with that, and if there is time, I will try and cover my own journey in terms of how I handed over and what are the issues which I faced while handing over the reins from a family managed, promoter driven, founder driven company to a professionally managed company. So I think for any family managed organization, one has to realize that the business is getting very complex. It's getting tougher and tougher. The competitive pressures are increasing day by day. On top of that, there are many disruptions, geopolitical disruptions, technological disruptions, and many, many more. So I think it's very important that the business is managed by the right person. And if the business is not led by the right person, it can have a negative impact on the business. So for an unlisted company, I think it's important that the family relationships are kept in mind. And I believe there is no right answer. A lot depends on the kind of business one is in. A lot depends on the number of family members. But I think the first thing the family should ask is, what comes first? Does the business come first or the family comes first? If the decision is for the family, that the family should.
And it's a privilege to share the Bisleri Greener Promise, our commitment to sustainability and responsible practices. Sustainability has always been a core value at Bisleri. We were one of the first companies in India to become plastic neutral and water positive, recycling more plastic than we place in the market, and replenishing 4.7 times the water that we extract from the ground. We are unbiased on packaging alternatives. We are committed to safe, affordable, scalable, and sustainable packaging, and use PET, which is the most recyclable and the safest, globally certified by food safety authorities. In fact, studies in India confirm its safety in varied conditions, and its carbon footprint is just 1/5 of glass and half of aluminum. While plastic remains one of the most remarkable innovations of our time, plastic pollution is a serious concern. The root of the issue lies not in the material, but in the way we handle this material, irresponsible consumption, and poor disposal practices. Through our flagship initiative, Bottles for Change, we raise awareness and drive action on segregation and recycling of used plastic. With dedicated collection center systems, we ensure the used plastic reaches recyclers directly. Operating across
You
the
really come at the end of a long session, you have an advantage and a disadvantage. Advantage is most of the points are covered. Disadvantage is most of you must be wanting to get your caffeine injection quickly. I've been given a topic of changing dynamics of consumer behavior impact on packaging. So I thought while this is a very huge topic, I thought I'll just hit some of the important points or thoughts that I have and which we in Reliance strongly believe in. And I will, at the end of my points, leave a challenge for the industry. I think, I have been a practitioner in fast-moving consumer products for the last 4 decades. And we have seen these challenges come from time to time. I think I started in the era of cellophane and paper, moved into plastics, and hope to see it move into something more sustainable as we go along. I think I want to take a step back and say, why do you need packaging at all? You need it because you need to ensure safety of products. You need to ensure that you give the products reasonable shelf life. And incidentally, it also gives you some merchandising value. Now, this is the context of packaging used in fast-moving consumer goods. And the other context is, what are the 2 big challenges the world is facing? Challenge number 1, I think everybody has said it. We have something called climate change. We believe that we need to reduce our carbon footprint at one level and other ensure that plastic packaging doesn't leak into the environment. There is another important challenge the world is facing, which is mostly ignored by most FMCG companies, because most FMCG companies have been there forever, and they are more keen on trying to really how they can project their numbers. We in Reliance are possibly one of the youngest FMCG.
We've got 3, and at the pre-function area, we've got 3 of them. So go ahead, enjoy your tea, coffee right away.